Hi there, welcome back. How are you today? So in this gorgeous video, as promised, we were going to talk about presenting your business as a healer, as a medium, as a psychic, all the blocks that may be coming around that. So many of us feel, I did for a long time, that as a spiritual healer or coach or whatever it is, that you can't accept money for your beautiful gifts. So today I was going through this gorgeous course and this information came through. So I'm going to read something to you and then I just loved what came through. We're going to work on, we're going to keep talking about that. So, from this beautiful course, what it said was, think of yourself as someone who helps people find opportunities or someone who helps people discover different ways in which they can improve their lives. When you look at the enrollment process from this perspective, you're coming from a place of giving rather than receiving, of helping rather than manipulating. We're all people helpers. We specialize in taking people where they are to where they want to be. We are in the business of giving people exactly what they want in life. We should feel good about making our best efforts to attract new sign-ups. So, I just found this so beautiful today as I was reading that. To see yourself as someone who helps people discover different ways in which they can improve their lives. I thought that was beautiful. And that we specialize in taking people where they are to where they want to be. We're in the business of giving people exactly what they want in life. So why should it feel icky, to be presenting an offer or to be offering your services in exchange for money? That's because we have all these beliefs around money that get in the way. And I have found that this year, for some reason, once I started offering the coaching and I started offering, the courses, that so much was coming up, to be released around money. And I've had so many past lifetime regressions surrounding money, surrounding wealthy lifetimes and what I've done to acquire that wealth. And all of that was still stuck in my system. And that's what was making it icky, yucky, however it is you want to call it. And so many of us are finding it yucky to ask for money in exchange for our beautiful services. Now, the other thing that was just coming up as I was saying that is that there's also all these beliefs around, that spiritual healers shouldn't charge for their services, that we get these gifts for free. Why should we be charging anything for them? All of that. Now, as I've said in a previous video, all of these gifts that we have, you have as well. There's not one thing that I have inside of me that you don't have inside of you. The difference is that I have been, this whole time, I have been focusing on developing those gifts. Developing. That's my focus, my intention since I was quite little has always been on spiritual, on understanding, on growing, on evolving, on expanding, all of that. That's where my focus has been. As a grown-up, as an adult going into my 20s, my 30s, and some of my 40s, because my daughter was born when I was 42. So from there, I had my awakening. All of those years were caught up in the human experience, in being angry, in being resentful, in fear, in doubt, in worry, because I needed to have that human experience. If I didn't have that human experience, there would be no way that we could relate. I would only be able to relate to beings that are on super high frequency, that are talking to angels constantly and have never stopped talking to angels since they got here. There would be no struggles, no challenges. There'd be nothing that we could relate, that would be relatable between me and you. And so, I needed to go through all the trauma I went through in my childhood. I needed to go through all of that. I needed to go through my whole adult life believing that I wasn't loved by my mum, believing that I couldn't be loved. I mean, if the person that brought me into the world can't love me, how can anybody love me? And so no matter how much I wanted to have a loving relationship with a partner, there was always this underlying, I'm not good enough for that person. I'm not good enough. And any minute now they're going to take off. They're going to realize that I'm not good enough. Because I wasn't good enough for the person that brought me into the world. How can I possibly be good enough for anyone else? You know? So my beautiful beings, everything I go through in my human experience will always be shared here. And money is no exception. It's no exception. As I go through the blocks and I release and I work through more and more comes up, it will all be shared here. Now, something beautiful that came up the other day. So, yes, let's go with that first. Something beautiful that came up the other day that I hadn't even thought of. And someone said, it was about pricing, and I'm doing this free course on Facebook called Full-Time Purpose. And it's through these two gorgeous guys that I always do the somatic breath work. It's through Victor Odo, and I love these two guys, and I love what they bring forward, and I love their energy. I just love everything about them. They're gorgeous, you know. And the other guy's called Aaron Doty. So you got Aaron Doty and you got Victor Odo, and Victor's the one that brings through the somatic breath work every time they do this Full-Time Purpose. And it's a free event that they put together. But of course, then at the end of the free event, there's the enrollment to the full course. So this time through, I honestly thought I was going to sign up for the course. I signed up last year, and then as soon as I started going through some of the videos, I thought, I'm already doing all that. I didn't feel like there was anything new for me to learn. So I got a refund and I pulled out. And this year I was sure I was going to sign up. And then I was like, just as I'm about to sign up, I had a huge talk to my daughter, and she was like, Mum, with or without that course, she said to me, in a year's time, you are going to be exactly where you want to be. And when she said that to me, I realized, she's right. I knew it in my heart, So I thought, okay, let that go. I was there for the somatic breath work again, which I absolutely love. And Victor said something really beautiful as, one of the girls was coming through, and she was saying, how do I charge for my services? She says, I feel like, I don't want it to be just for the rich, for the wealthy, for the people that have money. What about the ones that don't have money? How do we help them? And there were two things that he said, two things that completely resonated. The first one was, he said to her, well, hang on a minute. He said, for me, I have my YouTube channel, he was saying. And for me, I'm constantly posting up free. Everything you get on the YouTube channel here is free. So I'm already serving you for free. All the information that is within all of my courses is already here before they're even in my courses. The problem with here is that they're all scattered because they come up either as someone makes a comment and that information comes through, or, as I'm doing the courses, I'm also guided sometimes to bring in other information that comes through because it's, what's it called? It's structured. I already have a plan mapped out of what each module is going to have. And so as I'm going through, new information comes through sometimes that I just wasn't expecting. It just comes through. Like when I'm writing a book, I don't know half the times I don't know what's going to come through when I'm doing the books. It just, there it is. And then when I get to the end of it and I'm doing the editing stages, I'm like, wow, this stuff is amazing, And I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky that I get to read it first, But there were two things. The first one was, that's what he said. But I have my YouTube channel and I'm already giving away for free. I'm giving my time away for free. These videos take time to create. And then they take time for me to edit because I don't pay for someone to come and edit my videos. I have to do them myself at the moment. And so, that takes, if the video is 20 minutes long that you see on then it takes me 20 minutes to go through it because I tend to take out, you'll notice sometimes I'll reach out to pause. You'll hear my dogs barking in the background. I'm like, oh, here we go. So they'll be barking for an hour or so and I'm like, okay, have you finished yet? And then wait for them and then I'll start again. Or if I'm recording and there's a heavy plane coming through, which I'm lucky here, we don't have planes coming through. So when I'm in my office at home, when the planes are coming through, they're so heavy sometimes I have to pause, all those little things. And sometimes I take them out in the editing stage because I think, oh, it's too loud, it's too noisy, it's whatever. All of that. I do all of that and you get all of that for free, So he was saying that we do have free content. It's not like we're not, it's all paid and we don't give anything away. No, we give away all the time. We're giving our time, we're giving our love, we're giving, of us all the time. And I understood that, oh, okay, I give all the time. So it's okay, to have other things, that will bring in money that will allow me to do this full time. There's nothing wrong with that, to have the structured courses that people can go through, to have the coaching that people can have, the assistance, to see things that they can't see. My spirit guides will be, I don't even know what's going to come through. I just have to wait to see what that person is saying. And as they're speaking and as I'm listening, and once they finish sharing whatever's come through for them for that week, then the information comes in. I can hear it coming in, that this is what I need to ask or this is what I need to say. And this will shift. This will shift their perspective, allow them to see it in a different way, But as I'm going through all of this, I'm also evolving. I'm also shedding. That was one of the things that one of my beautiful, I don't know what to call them when I'm coaching people, client or, I don't know what you call them. I just, to me, I see them as an equal. I'm learning from them as much as they're learning from me. So I'm evolving all the time as well and expanding, with everything that's coming through. But yes, this beautiful being was talking about how much they're shedding old beliefs and shedding, things they no longer need. And it was just so beautiful. And I realized, oh, okay, this is what's happening, that things need to be released. Our beliefs around money, our blocks around money, about receiving money for our beautiful gifts. Why not? Why not? Why not allow yourself to receive this money when you can assist another? And then that other person, when they are free of all their blocks and they're free of all their beliefs that are holding them back, can move on to assist others. Do you see the network? We're no longer working alone, individuals, but now stronger together. We become stronger. We're enabling that person to become their fullest potential. And in turn, they can do the same for others. It becomes a ripple effect. You can't help it, So, my beautiful beings, this is how it works. This is the reality of it. We have so many beliefs around money, so many blocks around money that don't allow it to come in because it is still creating an experience for us. It is still serving us. And when we are done with that experience, we can let it go. You can let it go. So, what difference does it make if I'm making money from working with the elderly? Say, this is what I do at the moment during the day. I work with the elderly. I get money for that. I take care of them. I assist them with showering. I assist them with shopping, with walks, with social, with whatever it is that they need. And in the afternoons, I teach piano. And I love doing that. So I can't see myself not doing that. Because even though I get paid, I see that as play. I've never seen it as work. But, you know, the only thing that's ever stopping you is you, your beliefs, your blocks. If you decide that, oh no, I can't receive money for my spiritual gifts. And this is the problem, and this is what I'm starting to realize. We're seeing it like we're the ones with the power. We're the ones that have the gifts. It's our responsibility. And this is not true. Because everyone has these gifts inside. They just haven't been focusing on developing them. Everyone has psychic abilities. Everyone has the ability to heal themselves. Everyone has the ability to remember who they are. To remember the love that they are. To remember the beautiful light that they are. Everyone has this ability. So it's not that we possess these incredible gifts that nobody else has, and so, you know, well, it's our job to share all of this. We're just here to remind others that they have these gifts already inside of them. You know, there's nothing particularly special about me that I get to talk to my spirit guides, and nobody else does. I get to talk to Jesus every day and Mother Mary, and nobody else does. It's not like God decided exclusively, you know what, Hollie, you're going to be one of the few chosen ones that's going to be speaking to your spirit guides in this lifetime. No, it's not, you know, a gift that's just been bestowed to me and nobody else is allowed to have it. It's just that this is where my path has led. It's led me to, tap into these beautiful gifts that were dormant within me. And these beautiful gifts have become available to me because I did the courses. And that was number 2 that Victor brought forward the other day. And it is so true. I remember when I did the courses that I have done, I was heavily in debt. Heavily in debt. I had a mortgage, that was chewing up most of our wages. We were in debt, because we had to buy a car and all this stuff for my husband's work. So we were about $50,000 in debt, as well as the mortgage, which was about $250,000. So we're up about $300,000. We were living paycheck to paycheck. And somehow I found the money to do those courses. I made it work. I made it happen. When you truly want something for yourself, you just choose it. You know that it's for you. When you are done, that's the reality. Because when I started Rikka's course, I was done. I was done with the negative thoughts in my head. I was done with the negative beliefs that I'm not worthy, that I'm not good enough. I was so done with that conversation in my head. There wasn't a thought in my head that I liked. Not one at that time. And when I look back on it now, it feels like I had all these conversations that my mum would have had running in her head. Like it had been passed down. And I was now, holding on to all these thoughts of hers. About life, about money, about all these beliefs, all these limitations, And I know for myself, when I started with Rikka, I was so done. Having those thoughts, feeling that way, I was over it. And I would spend, I know I've talked about this before, but I would spend at least 2 hours a day just listening to her videos, because they were all about self-love, about loving yourself, about being worthy, about being good enough. You don't need to do anything to be good enough. You just are. And I knew this. Everything she was saying, I just felt in my heart. I knew this was true. I had just forgotten, and she was reminding me. And that's all we're doing. You have just forgotten. And we're just here to remind you. But nothing that we are, none of the gifts that we have are things that are exclusive to us. And they're not things that you can't access. You can't access them. It's just a question of what is going to work for you. You know, oh, something just came up, but I'll put it in the next one. So remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we'll see you in the next video, my beautiful beings. Bye for now.